Demon Spirit Worshipper Rescued by God. This video is about the story of Roger Morneau. He exposed the important plans of Satan on how to deceive all the people in the world. You will discover that there are really supernatural powers in our world, a spiritual dimension that we do not see, and that science could not explain. God and Satan are very real. And we are on a spiritual war, a spiritual battle, a great controversy between the forces of good and evil.
I said, no, I'd be a loser. What do you mean you'd be a loser? He says, you'd be wealthy, you'd be famous, and you'd be doing a tremendous work. And he tried to convince me in 2 hours' time that I should come back to the society. Lucifer says, we have to make sure that humans would be made to believe that Satan and his angels do not really exist. The second one was to find a way of being able to get total control of people's minds. And that would be done by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introduce it as a new science for the benefit of mankind.
The third point was what?
Was to destroy the Bible without burning it.
Okay.
See?
And what was the strategy on that?
It was very interesting because after the Great General Council, it was decided that Satan would tutor Charles Darwin personally in setting up the principles of his theories of evolution. He was tutored by Lucifer himself, fallen Lucifer, in remembering Sunday to keep it holy. He made a statement I would never forget. He says, by the observance of the day upon which the master, Satan, has placed the unction of his authority and power, he receives homage, regardless of whom people claim to worship. He says that there is a great controversy going on between the force of good and evil, between Christ and Satan. There was something, and I understand now, it was the Spirit of God saying, hold back, fellow, hold back. And I realized that he was a spirit counselor, because he said, the master...
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan has tremendous plans for your life. Fame, honor, respect, wealth. Don't you value any of these things? I said, I want you to know, Spirit, that 10 days ago, I would have grabbed your offer. But now you're talking to a former spirit worshiper, and I'm educated to the reality of life, especially of the reality of eternal life. I said, you know, Spirit, the high priest has mentioned about higher powers. I'm affiliated now with higher powers. When you get into a secret society of spirit worshippers, and especially when you're invited there by the direction of the higher-ups in the spirit world, you never get out of there alive. I said, as I was laying on my bed, I said, if there's a God up there that cares for me, help me. And he said, man, he said, you really mean what you say? That you want to see these things in the Bible? I said, sure. Okay, he says, come to my place 7 o'clock tonight. Give me his address.
Cyril, when did you discover that this man worshipped demon spirits?
We discovered that midway between the lessons, and he came with tears in his eyes, and he was very upset. And I said, well, what are you so upset about, Roger? And he said, well, you don't know what I've been doing.
The high priest, as a spirit, appeared to him on Wednesday evening and told him that you were studying the Bible with some Christians. But you were not just studying the Bible with Christians. You were studying the Bible with Seventh-day Adventists, the people that the Master hates most on the face of the planet. How in the world did you get yourself involved in something like that? Don't you care for your life? Now the Bible studies are over. And I said to myself, if I'm still alive, I want to be here tomorrow night.
Did you seriously doubt whether you would be alive the following night?
I felt sure I was going to be killed, going to be destroyed. So after a while, things start moving around the place. A picture on that wall goes and sticks itself on the wall. There's nothing to hold it up. And the light that was on the table moved and stayed in midair. It stays there. And the piece of paper started to levitate and move around the room. So it didn't bother me. I knew what was doing it. And then the sheet of paper came and stood about a foot above my book. Then it was slammed down on the book, and the book fell on my lap, and almost into the floor. I picked it up. So I picked up the book again, started to write, and then the spirit picked up the book and threw it across the room against the wall with tremendous force. And I said to myself, unless Cyril's God help me. The spirits are going to do me in. And instantly, just,
So you knew that you had demonic powers that were trying to choke you right then.
yeah.
Whenever your friend Roland came over, what did he say? Did he feel agitated? Was he upset?
Oh, yeah. He came in and sat himself down and he said, I can't believe it. Not, of all people, he says, not Morno. He said, you're in real trouble. Because the high priest, as a spirit, appeared to him on Wednesday. And I said, I don't have to concern myself with you or your master or any of the other spirits because you're all losers. I am the winner. 100 million years of perfect life, recreated, translated, or resurrected body that I'll have. My years will be counted into the millions of years. If I take the offer of the master, what do I have? I'm 20 years of age. And even if I live to be 100, how can you compare that to 100 million years? And I'll have all the gold that I want and the silver that you're offering me, and more. So I'm not a loser no more. I'm a winner. He lit a cigarette, and as he lit the cigarette, I saw his hand shake like this. And I said, you're quite nervous. Well, let me tell you, he says, there's a power here, a presence that I'm not accustomed to. I'm very uncomfortable. Well, I said, you know what it is? The presence of the Spirit of God.